Happy Fierce Friday to you. Normally this time of year, our team would be out in LA and participating in the Adobe Max Creative Conference. But this year, we were able to do that from home, virtually. So we joined thousands upon thousands of creatives all around the world. We were inspired, we learned other people's creative processes, the tips and tricks that help us be more efficient in our work. And it was just a great week for us to connect with each other and kind of break out of the mold of our day-to-day to-do lists, to dream a little bit and be inspired by others. So I'm gonna pass it around the table here and we're gonna share with you what we learned this week at Adobe Max.
Since Adobe Max was offered online this year, we had the opportunity to attend even more sessions, and two things really stood out to me in my sessions. The first one was that we really need to be intentional with our old commute time. Since we're working from home, take the time to invest in something that will help you meet your goals and consistently create in your extra time. And the second was that we really need to be transformational as opposed to transactional with our audience. So anytime we interact with someone online, make sure we're just having real conversations with them and getting to know them as opposed to just strictly trying to sell to them.
In Adobe XD, the software I use to create web design mocks, I learned all kinds of tips and tricks to really help me take my vision of a website through from the process of wireframing all the way into development. Workflows that'll definitely help speed up the process when creating work for clients. But on top of all of those tips and tricks we learned in the software we use, we also got to hear from all kinds of creatives all around the world, whether it's designers, artists, photographers, producers, directors, you name it. They're there and they are just pouring out their stories and their inspiration, and it really just fires you up at the end of the week.
One of the things that stood out to me the most was when Ava DuVernay said, if you're bored, you're boring. And that just means that in the midst of COVID and this stillness that is here, there is still so much inspiration around us. So continuing to be inspired and to create. And then also streamlining our creative process. How do we get to the creative zone faster and how do we stay there longer?
I learned a ton of amazing stuff from Adobe Max Online this week. I think my favorite thing was someone mentioned taking 5 minutes a day to create something that makes you happy, which I think is really important, especially in this time period that we're going through right now. I also learned a few really great expressions and effects that I'm excited to start using in After Effects on projects moving forward.
My biggest takeaway, I think, was the responsibility and the privilege that it is to know that I have a creative voice, figure out what that is, and be able to utilize that to make a difference for our clients as well as for the world.
Some of my favorite sessions this year were in After Effects. Projects involving motion graphics are some of my favorite to work on, and I had some really great instructors that really helped to break down certain features that were a little intimidating to me before, like working in a 3D space. I'm really looking forward to getting to try out everything I learned this week and to just continue creating.